Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me tonight. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint this deer silhouette with a forest landscape. It's a great beginner project, very easy, a lot easier than it looks. I'll be showing you step by step how to do it all the way through. I've got my husband Mark here with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to be manning chat for our live show. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm really excited about this one. I've had this in my head for a while now, and I've kind of combined a couple different photographs that I found. But I really love this green and teal, or the teal green and bright red combo. So I think it's a good autumn project for us. And like I said, really the hardest part is going to be the deer. So if you wanted to leave him out, the rest of it is super easy. So I'll be showing you. I've got a 9 by 12 inch canvas panel here. This is actually just a board, and it's pre-prepped, so ready to go. But you could use any size canvas you want on this. Let me go over your colors real quick. We've got titanium white, cadmium yellow medium. This is phthalo green blue shade. I usually use yellow shade, so if you don't have the blue shade of the phthalo green, you can just add some of the phthalo blue to your phthalo green yellow shade and get this color. This is phthalo blue, green shade, and burnt sienna, burnt umber, carbon black, cadmium red light, and cadmium red medium. So pretty simple palette. Really, we probably don't need the burnt sienna. If you don't have it, I don't know if I'll be using it, but we'll see. All right, so I'm going to start out by mixing up some light green, and I'm just going to use my palette knife just to save my brush from having any problems. Like I said, if you've not got phthalo green blue shade, just add a little bit of phthalo blue to your phthalo green, and then you'll get a color similar to this. This is it's very close to our turquoise color that we use a lot. It's just got a little bit more green in it. So you could use turquoise and just add a little bit of green also. Okay, so that'll be good. That'll be kind of our basic background color. Wanted to mix up quite a bit of it so that we had enough to work with for our very far background. We'll add some white with it, and then I'll mix some other color later, but we'll go ahead and get started with this. All right, I'm going to use my 8 Bright flat brush. It's about a 3/4 inch brush, and we're going to start out by kind of figuring out where our horizon line is going to be. So I'm going to sort of measure halfway and then halfway again and come just above that point. So it's like at the quarter mark and maybe just above the quarter mark. We'll just go across like that. That'll be kind of where our light color starts to fade into this will be this line right here. All right. And then we'll have some trees come up this way, so we can go a little bit lighter. We just need to leave enough room for our deer to sit in the middle here, and then our darker planes will be here and here, and then down in here and down in here. So it kind of does this zigzaggy line thing here. It'll kind of go in and out, back in and out again like that.
I zoomed in a little bit so they can see the chalk better. So you may need to move that up just a little bit.
Kind of like that. Move it up.
Yeah.
There? Okay.
Yep.
So that's kind of what our foreground's going to do. It's going to do these kind of zigzaggy lines here. And really these are going to be kind of almost straight here. So it's going to zag down and then go straight, and zag down and go straight, kind of. If that makes sense. All right, so that's all we're going to draw. We're not going to get too detailed with the drawing. We'll just kind of work it out as we go. So I'm going to start out grabbing some white here, and I'm going to go with some white right in the middle, and then grab some of my teal and blend it into that white. Try not to overblend it so we kind of keep some of that bright white color right there along that horizon line. And I want these streaks to happen because that'll make it look like there's some trees or something happening in here. So you don't have to blend out all these streaks when you're doing this. Just going to pull down through and create some vertical lines in it, kind of like that. And then as we go out, we'll get a little bit darker as we go away from this middle part. Excuse me. So if you're new to the channel, we hope you will subscribe. And we do these classes twice a week live. And this one's one of our beginner classes. Usually Tuesday nights are kind of more beginner level. And I got paint on my example one here. I'm trying to get it off before it dries.
You can pull that down a little bit too.
Huh?
You can pull the whole, not the palette, no, you're painting, so it's on camera.
Okay.
There you go.
Was it off camera again?
Just the top a little bit, but I had zoomed out, so it wasn't my fault. That was all you.
Well, because you told me to move it.
Mm-hmm. You need to pay attention to what's going on
and
here.
I can't see what is on camera from this angle here, honey. Oh, now I can see. All right.
Somehow it always comes back to me. So as you were saying, welcome to our channel.
Yeah, exactly. We're just all about, if you've always wanted to paint, my goal is to be able to get you there and give you projects that you can accomplish and be proud of and impress your friends with. We've got so many people who, I was actually reading one today, an email from a lady who said her, she got C's all through high school and was discouraged from pursuing art, but now that she's retired, she's taken it up again, and she's been amazed at how well she's been able to keep up with the projects and things. So that's what makes my day. That's what we're all about. Try to make it fun.
So people in chat are already wondering, could you replace the deer with Stickman?
Yes, you could.
I think there'd be more of a glow, though, probably around him.
Like, oh. Would there be music? There had to be music too, I think.
Well, it would just naturally happen.
Right.
Coming from the heavens.
All right. I'm going to pull this white out just a little bit on the sides here. I feel like it's probably going to glow, kind of extend out a little bit more. That looks good. Okay. And then down here, just go ahead and grab a little bit more of that white. And I'm going to fill in just side to side this time. So this top part I did horizontally, and now on the foreground I'm going to go side to side. So the streaks will look like they are part of the ground. It's just a trick of the eye. Add some white up here so that there's a nice soft blend between the white and the foreground there. And I'm going to go ahead and just extend it out past where I think I need it. When we put our trees in, we will define this path a little bit better, but right now we're just kind of trying to get paint on it. Get a first layer down. Every now and then you're going to want to pick up a little bit more water just to keep your brush hydrated. A lot of times people will add water to their paint, not realizing that it's really their brush that needs the water. I'll spray my paints every now and then, but I don't usually add a whole lot of water to the paint itself. I just add a little bit to the brush and then take that to my pile and kind of work that in a little bit. And now let's grab some burnt umber. I'm going to use that along the sides here. Really, it's going to be a little bit darker than that, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the green and a little bit of the burnt umber and make a dark green. We'll use that down here. There we go. This is here too. Don't go too far up with this because we're going to kind of create some trees here. So just wanting to add a little bit of darkness on the sides here. Good. Okay, now I'm going to grab some of this lighter color and blend back over right up in here. And I'm just going to kind of tap so that maybe those are bushes or something. More of that lighter color. Just kind of tap.
Are they happy?
Happy little bushes, yep.
Gonna make some friends for them.
Well, what do you mean you're gonna make some friends for them?
Isn't that what the master used to
Oh,
say?
yeah. Yeah, everybody needs a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Bob.
You're way in thought already. We're only
I know.
10 minutes into this.
I'm just trying to remember how I did it. It's only yesterday I did it. But
God, I hope one of us knows. 'Cause we're going to be some serious trouble.
Okay, grabbed some more white here, and I'm just going to kind of soften up that. The idea is the farther away it is, it's going to be lighter, and then as we get closer, it's going to be darker. So our planes are going to get darker as they kind of come down closer to us. So I'm going to use this color. Just sort of soften up that far area there. I'm not going to really see much of this, but just want to be sure that if anything's peeking through that it kind of makes sense visually. So we'll do the same thing here. I'm just kind of using the edge of my brush, sort of that corner part, and I'm just tapping in lightly, kind of ruffle up those edges. Bring it in right along that horizon line that we drew in before. And I can go right over the top just a little bit. Keep it very, very light. We want it very light here. Just barely tinted. I'm just tapping straight up and down with my brush, really kind of creating these little fuzzy bush-like texture in the paint. Okay. And I'm just going to do some side to side here, kind of soften that up and blend that all in. Tap in some white again. There we go. Ooh. Super chat.
We got a super chat.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda. That's very kind
No,
of you.
sorry, wrong.
Wrong?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Sorry, Aaron. That was my mistake.
We're glad to have Brenda watching too.
Brenda is watching. But Aaron gets the credit for the lights and the
Thank you,
cowbell.
Aaron. Brenda's like, what did I do? Did I do something? She's like freaking out.
What?
Okay, I'm grabbing a medium color here. So we're going to have basically 3 different layers of trees and values. We're going to have this really, really dark brown right here in the foreground, and then this kind of medium green right here, and then the farthest trees are going to be this light green, just barely lighter than or darker than the background. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of this medium green color into this middle area here. Just softening that up. And grabbing some of that lighter color. Just push this back right along that. This is kind of going to come down at an angle here, so I don't want it to be too dark too far up. That looks better.
Okay, this one really is Brenda. She felt peer pressure. No. I feel kind of bad, but
that's awesome, Brenda. Thank you. That's hilarious.
I might have to donate to Super Chat too now. All right, you want me to turn the lights off there?
I love that.
We can leave the lights on a little bit longer.
Please don't.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so middle, and this is our darkest down here. We're just kind of adding a little bit of this dark color right there. Not too hard. Clean my hand off here so I don't get this on someplace I don't want it.
Yep, and everybody's mooing in chat again.
Huh?
I said everybody's mooing in chat again.
Mooing in chat. I like it. That's awesome. Cowbell. Good old cowbell. All right, I'm going to use a number 2 flat. This is about a 1/4 inch flat brush for these far trees here. And we're going to grab this color that was our, kind of base color. And I'm going to add just a little bit of the darker green to it. And a teeny tiny bit of black. Actually, I think I'm going to mix my black green mixture. And that way I can have that to dip into. So I'm going to mix a little bit of black with my green. Just tone it down a little bit. Create kind of more grayed out green for our trees, and then I'm going to grab some of this white here and mix the white in. So this is going to be our far tree color. I mixed way more of that than I needed. That's all right. So we'll see. This may be too light. We can add some to it if needed, but I'm going to press my brush flat. And so my light area is right here. I want my trees. This is going to be my deer, so I'm just kind of trying to make sure that I don't cover up my deer. So let's go with, leave ourselves about a 3-inch gap there. So I'm going to go vertical. Oh, that's perfect color. Good deal. Vertical, and then as we get up here, I can kind of cross over, but down here I want to keep them sort of away from the center. So do another one over on this side. I think that's about right. Cross it over a little bit. Using the edge of my brush can create these nice straight lines for me. It's a very easy way of doing lines. It's a little, I found it's a lot easier than using a liner brush. So we'll do another main branch here. The main thing when you're doing trees is that is just to keep in mind that they're going to narrow as they go out away from the trunk. So you don't want your branch to do like a thick and then thin and then thick again spot. that would look unnatural. So you just want it to be the same thickness all the way down, even a little bit thicker at the base, because it kind of widens up sometimes right there at the base, and then narrow as it goes up. So as I go up, I can kind of turn my brush to the side and get some thinner branches happening at the very top of my trees. And I'm just going to put in a few here. Just kind of have fun with this. I love doing trees because it's very kind of relaxing. You just kind of imagine where these branches go, and as long as you're kind of following the same rule of thumb and whoop, a hair. You know, doing these Y shapes. So every time you do a junction in your branch, it should kind of create this Y shape here. And
why is that?
I don't know.
You're welcome.
It's just the way it grows.
Hey, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write down the answer this time because I know we've had the question before, but how do you mix colors for teal? Which colors do you use?
Phthalo blue and phthalo green. And
of course you would pick.
In this case, it's phthalo green blue shade. And really, I didn't mix any blue into it. I just used, actually, I don't think I'm even going to use this phthalo blue, but I put it out just so that you could see it. But
who's paying for that phthalo blue?
Phthalo blue
not coming out of my paycheck, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
phthalo green, if you have phthalo green yellow shade, add a little bit of phthalo blue to it to get this color. If you have this color, just use this in white, and that's all you need to do to get this color right here.
Which color? Phthalo
green blue
shade plus white.
Plus white to get this color that we used for our background. It's similar to teal. It's not too far off. If you have teal, you could probably use it. Teal's just got a little bit more blue in it. So all right, I grabbed a little bit of the darker color, just a little bit of this color that had the black in it. So as we go out, I'm going to darken up my trees a little bit, and I've kind of got these leaning in, if you notice, just to kind of create this sort of intimate space here with our deer. And then I'm going to just tap in some of this color just at the bottom of these trees to sort of blend it in, so it doesn't look like they're just kind of floating out in space. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. A little bit more, and I'm going to do a few more trees. A little bit darker this time. Some of them don't have to have limbs. They can just kind of go straight up and down. Well, I say straight up and down, but, you know, kind of wobbly a little bit. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. And just on these closest trees to the middle, I'm going to add a little bit of white highlights on them. I'll just kind of make it look like they're glowing. Maybe there's a light source behind them here. There we go. Not that white. Here we go. Okay, then I'm going to use this brush, or I can switch over if you've got like a Deerfoot Stippler, you could use that, and I'm just going to kind of tap in with this very light color some little leaf indications. So just a few little tiny brush strokes. Tap, tap, tap. I'm kind of swishing my brush from side to side as I do it. I'm getting these little leaves in there. I'm going to do a little bit of darker color and do some darker over here.
Is this a side cam shot with your tap, tap, tapping?
Okay.
Oh,
Sure.
Look at that tap, tap, tapping. And all its side cam glory. So, hey, thanks everybody for showing up. Like Angela said before, we really appreciate you spending your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, maybe Tuesday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Because I know we have somebody, where were they? Taiwan, I think, joined us.
Wow.
But thanks anyways. For in the future, welcome to the past. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. All the materials are down below in the chat. Links to buy stuff, brushes. Somebody asked, paints. Somebody asked if there was a difference between a canvas board and a canvas panel. I'm guessing it's just the name.
Yeah, the board is the panels are actually usually paper on the back. Boards would be like an MDF board like this.
So there is a difference.
Yes. Yeah, so this would be considered a board because it's this hard surface.
I learn something new every day.
There you go. Okay, and just make sure that you're kind of going all the way up off the edge, keeping that those branches going all the way up out of our shot here. And now I'm doing some of these a little bit darker, but really I added a little bit of the phthalo green, phthalo green blue shade to these just to get some little bits of darker trees. Let's put another light colored trees. I'm just kind of putting different colored trees back here. Most of this is going to be covered up, but just want a little bit of variation. Maybe gray this one out a little bit more. Okay, so let's put in our next layer. And actually, well, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of more trees, just very, very thin ones way back here. They may get covered up, but it'll kind of help having a few extra little trees back here to fill in some of this empty space. Okay, there we go. Holding that brush this whole time. Alright, so I'm going to grab some more of this phthalo green black mixture. Get a little bit darker color now. I think I want a little bit more green in this. It's a little bit gray for my taste. There we go. And I'm not going to do full strength there. I'm going to grab a little bit of this lighter color so it's not quite fully black and phthalo green. It's got just a tiny bit of green. You can see that it's kind of just maybe 1 or 2 shades lighter or darker than the previous color that we've been using. So we'll use that for our next layer of trees, and those are going to be right in about right here. And they're really not that far over, so maybe about 1 inch over, and about, actually I need to bring that up because I think this is right about there. We'll just bring it right up over the top. And right up off the end. And here I just want to make sure that it's even. Remember, I want to even it out so that there's no thickness in weird places. If I have it thick up here, I need to make it thick down here all the way down to the tree trunk. Match it. There you go. And these are going to be a little bit wider trees as well. So these ones back here are pretty thin, and we might even switch to a bigger brush at this point. And if we're getting to where you can't tell the difference between the two trees, then go a little bit darker. So just grabbing a little bit of that darker color there. Here we go. Do that. More branches. I feel like these ones are kind of leaning this way, so I'm just going to bring this one out a little bit. Do it like on a low branch that comes up like that and over. There we go. Then we're going to tap a little bit of this color in at the bottom. I forgot to do that up there. Let me do that real quick. Get that lighter color. There we go. You're being awfully quiet tonight, hon.
I'm trying to keep up with chat.
Got no forest facts for me or anything like that?
Well, I didn't know if I should do forest facts or deer facts.
Oh, deer facts, yeah. Do deer facts. I'm going to thicken out that tree branch right there.
So one forest fact is back in the 1700s, about 90% of the forests of New Hampshire were clear-cut to support the ship mast industry in England.
Interesting. That's
think,
where Mark's from. That's why he knows that.
I think I remember that from history class. Hashtag forest facts. Just tell your friends. Don't fact check it. You heard it on the internet. It's got to be true.
Got to be true. May or may not be true. Yeah. Okay, let's put in some more of these middle color trees. A bit darker. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This side I'm going to do a little bit bigger tree, I think. I'm going to do one nice big one right here.
For the Love of Crafts wants to know, are you using a mixing medium?
I'm not, no, but you could if you're, if you want more time to blend or something like that. This one's pretty straightforward, so we're kind of mostly just using solid colors for them. Tap in a little bit of this darker color. I'm going to widen this trunk just a little bit, all the way up there. Okay. Here again, we're kind of creating this sort of closed in feel, so I'm going to put another branch right there to kind of close it in a little bit on us.
Can you make this look a little more difficult. People are complaining in chat that you're making it look too easy.
Looking too.
And I notice here you're doing the right to left painting so you can get your hand in the wet paint.
I am.
That's a good technique there.
As always. Yes, always do this side first so you can put your hand in it while you're working on the other side. I don't know why I do that every time. I can't tell you how many times I've stuck my hand in paint. I still do it. Still do it. It's just a bad habit. You're going to have to call me out on it. Alright. Keep on adding these branches here. These honestly aren't all that difficult. These gonna go in this way and create some more overlapping. So quiet.
Fine. I'll give you some facts here. The facts is that if you're watching us, you missed the how to cure hiccups section of chat.
Oh.
Not very artsy, but it's helpful.
What was the consensus?
To be honest, I don't know.
You weren't, you weren't paying
I
attention.
think they were trying to scare each other in chat, but it wasn't working too well. I don't think they got that concept down yet.
That's awesome. I do miss chatting. That's one of the things about painting that I don't get to do is chat. I do enjoy all my Monday art chats in my groups. I get to, on Facebook, I get to kind of interact and chat. It's fun. All right, so there we go. That's, really honestly, you don't have to go into a whole lot of detail on these outside ones. We're just kind of trying to create these sort of layers here. And I'm going to grab some of the lighter color, and I'm just going to highlight on these, kind of like we did in here. Just highlight a few of these branches that are closest to the center. Like some lights hitting them. And this area here is kind of being pulled out. Got some foliage happening. Yeah. And we'll bring this darker color up here in between these trees a little bit. Going to camouflage them and set them back into their little layer. Grab some of that darker color and do the same thing over here. I kind of am coming up a little bit on the sides too, slightly, so it's sort of slightly angled down. Here again, kind of creating this sort of enclosed feeling.
Okay, here
I'm
comes.
taking off most of my paint here. What? Go ahead.
You're quiet as soon as I start talking. You jump in.
Grabbing some burnt umber. And I'm going to use the burnt umber along the path here. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. We're going to go for a fact. So first fact
Go for it.
is the boreal forest is the largest land habitat on the planet.
Boreal?
Yeah, B-O-R-E-A-L.
Boreal.
It's AKA Taiga, T-A-I-G-A. So it runs across northern United States, Canada, southern Iceland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Russia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and northern Japan.
Wow.
I don't know how is that possible.
Well, I think it's a kind of forest, not the name of a forest.
Okay.
Is it? Is it the name of a forest or the kind of forest?
It doesn't say. I'm just reading.
You're in charge of facts. You should know these things.
Yeah, but it involves reading. You know how well that goes for me.
Sorry. Okay, I'm making a mess of this. I had a little bit of that brighter green, but I don't like it right there, so I'm gonna blend that out. Okay. There we go.
The Indonesian rainforest is home to 1/5 of all plant and animal life.
Okay, grabbing some of this burnt umber color and a little bit of that green that's our background color, and I'm going to just kind of make sure that these are sort of blended in here. And really just do the side to side. They don't have to be completely blended, just as long as you kind of have the side to side motion happening. Sorry, hon, I interrupted you again.
No, that's okay. If you want to go along with your painting show, you go right ahead.
Grabbing some yellow here. I'm gonna add that. I added a little bit of white, grabbing a little tiny bit of that yellow, and we'll just touch up a little bit of this yellow in here just to give it a bright section right kind of in the middle. See that? There we go. All right, I'm going to try to keep this under an hour, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. Grabbing the burnt umber. I'm going to add it to that dark green, black mixture. Try to keep it away from my white. I want to go really nice and dark. So these trees are going to be, so we kind of started here, we went here, and then we're going to go about right here and do a nice big tree right up this way. Let's cover that whole thing up right there. Leaning in just slightly. I switched to a larger brush. This is my number 8 Bright, the one I did my background with. I'm going to hold it sideways here. We'll do another tree somewhat close to it. Go right up like that. Kind of looking at the trees that I have underneath behind here. Try not to cover all of that up. So there. Do another kind of medium large one right here. And then I'm going to use this dark brown and just pull that color, just tap it, pull it in towards the center a little bit. a nice big branch going along here. No, I didn't really want to do two matchy-matchy ones there. Oh well. They're friends. They're gonna hold in the same pose.
They dress alike when they go out in public.
I think so. They're bobbing their heads at the other girl trees.
Is this a Roxbury forest?
Yes, I think so. We crack ourselves up. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and do on this side. I'm going to do one right here. Coming in over this way. Do another one right here. That's going to be a bigger one.
So
some branches coming off. What? Go ahead.
Somebody wants to know what time your chats are on Mondays.
On Mondays, they are at 2:30 in Thankful Art, and then I have a Patreon-only Facebook group where I do them at 3 o'clock. So the Thankful Art ones are half an hour. Usually those are just kind of talking about, I don't know, different stuff that's art-related, answering questions, things like that, telling, letting people know what I'm got planned. This week I unboxed all the goodies that I got for our giveaway coming up when we hit 100,000.
What?
Yeah.
We're giving away stuff?
I know. Can't wait to show the
Sweet.
stuff I got from Golden Paints. They sent me some stuff to give away. And showing the stuff from Plaid that they sent for me to do a video. So that'll be coming up here pretty soon, hopefully. Just got to figure out what I'm going to be teaching. But so yeah, just, I don't know, sometimes I talk about what we I don't know, how to clean your brushes, or I don't know, just all kinds of different stuff. I've kind of gonna go over how to varnish. There's all kinds of different topics that I've done there. They're just shorter. It's a little bit more, easier to chat than on YouTube. So smaller group. Okay. Going to pull that out just a little bit. All right. So see how that works? Isn't that interesting how just layering these darker trees on top kind of pushes the other layers back? Do one more smaller one right in here. There we go. Okay. Swallowed wrong.
Well, got a tickle in my throat, so I'm drinking my water. Then I just noticed that there's some protein floating around in there.
Oh, that's gross. I didn't need to know that. Can we use some of this medium color and
You asked.
just no. Sorry. Okay, added some streakiness to our trees here, just a little bit. Is that what's making you choke?
No.
Okay. All right, so there's our dark forest. Not too hard. clean out my brush. I'm going to go ahead and leave it pretty bright. It's a little bit brighter than mine was. I have mine a little bit darker, so but I kind of like the real bright there. Sort of makes it look like it's glowing. So let's put in our deer. I'm going to grab a watercolor pencil to draw him. This graphite aquarelle Faber-Castell pencil. And he's going to go in this kind of mid-ground between these two layers. So he'll be kind of standing right in here and up into this area. So his back's going to be sort of right here. You can kind of do sort of an oval shape for the body. Like that. You want to zoom in for this one?
Yes, I do. If I was paying attention.
There you go.
Might need to center a little bit on the camera. There you go.
All right. I wonder if I want to move him up just slightly, because I want to... I'm going to just bring this... Well, let me think. Yeah, I'm going to move him up just slightly. I just want his belly to have some light color underneath. Just using a damp cloth here to wipe right off.
So again, you could do a deer. You could do Sasquatch.
You could do whatever you wanted to.
Stickman.
Yep, stickman would be fine.
A rooster.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so kind of an oval shape here. Might move him back a little bit because I want to have plenty of room for his antlers. Keep moving him. Don't press too hard when you're erasing on your drawing because you could pull off your paint. You don't want to do that. So, all right, that's better. So I want to have plenty of room for his two antlers right here. So his head's going to be up here. And we're just going to connect to his back. Right there. Comes up. So it kind of dips down and then back up for the neck. And then he's got kind of that oval shaped head, maybe not quite that big. Sort of like that, sort of flat on top and rounded at the bottom. Then his neck's going to come in and back out. And right about at the point where the back hits, you're going to kind of round it out this way, come in, and the leg is going to come down right below the face and curve back. Then we're going to have these two legs are kind of together, then there's a straight line back here. Just checking my angles, making sure I'm getting it big enough. This curves all the way back in this way and down. And then this leg kind of mimics that. It's backward facing. The curve is back. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It may not curve quite that much down. Square off that back end There we go. All right, then his ears are going to kind of be these diamond shapes kind of on either side like that. And then the antlers are going to come up and out like that. In this case, we're just going to kind of try to match them up so that they're even. So he's kind of facing us straight on, where his head is at least. And then we'll have a couple that kind of come out like that. A couple more that curve in like that. I find that if I do one and then do the other one immediately, I don't get lost. You know, don't do this whole one and then try to match it. Just kind of do one side and then go and do the other side and then go back and forth. Okay, go over. Honestly, you could do as many as you want there on him. Maybe give him a couple more just right up top. Big antlers. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty good. These two legs are kind of together, so we're not seeing them separate. And I feel like his legs need to go back a little bit farther. Oops. Great. Meant to do that. I'm just looking at my drawing here. Noticing that these legs need to be a little bit farther back. There we go. More like right here. Oh, it's dark, is it? Yeah, that's better. Okay. Alright, so now just grab a small round brush, just whatever you're comfortable using, whatever size is your favorite. I'm going to grab the color that we did for these trees here. So it's kind of the middle value green. And just fill in our deer with that. Ears. Go right over the top of that watercolor pencil so it blends in to your paint. Sticking out too far. There we go.
Should I make a Deerfoot Stippler joke now? I know where 4 Deerfoot Stipplers came from.
What?
I said I know where 4 Deerfoot Stipplers came from.
Where?
Well, he doesn't have any feet right now.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm not.
I know.
I didn't even get a laugh.
I
Sorry.
know. That's like the second one
That
tonight.
was most pathetic.
I'm giving up.
Sorry. Good try.
You're trying.
I tried to laugh. Couldn't do it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to spray my palette again. Doesn't get dried out. I put out way more paint than I needed to tonight. I don't know what that was all about. Okay, and then I'm going to pull from the... I find if you're doing these lines, if you're kind of new to using a liner brush, if you hold it kind of like you do a pencil and fairly close up to it so that kind of how you would if you were writing, and make sure that you have your painting tilted so that it's kind of feels natural, so that that kind of left to right angle feels natural. And then kind of look ahead of where you want to pull your line. So you're going to drag your line out. You think of your brush kind of like a mop, and it's going to, you don't want to ever push it this way. You want to pull and lead your brush. So when we're doing our lines, we're just barely touching down that tip. And if you're doing this on a vertical surface, like, you know, you have your it up on an easel or something like that, you can kind of find it helpful if you prop your fist up underneath your hand to give it some support. And then you can kind of work it. But this one is small enough canvas. We
That's
don't
a
need
perfect
to do
side
that.
cam shot there.
Like that. Okay.
Okay, so some people are kind of concerned in chat that the deer is green.
Well, he's green because you're not seeing the color. He's far enough away that he is absorbing the colors around him.
Right.
So you're
the
not
mist and other stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of basically in silhouette. That's what.
Right.
That's the idea. Okay, now I'm taking that lighter color and I'm just gonna scumble it over the top.
Scumble?
It just kind of scrub it. Yep, scumble is the word.
Oh no.
Scumbling is going over darker paint with lighter paint.
You know, I'm gonna Google that.
Google it. Do it. I've used that word before. And I'm just going to kind of scrub it in to kind of give it some texture, break up the dark green color a little bit. It'll soften up your painting, make it kind of blend into the background just a little bit more. Are you Googling it? Or do you just believe me?
So for my... Oh, come on, seriously? I know you're a reader and all that stuff, but I had to Google it.
Okay.
So for all those people like me out there, scumble is a verb, is a present participle for scumbling. Is to modify by applying a very thin coat of opaque paint to give a softer or duller effect.
There you go.
You artists, you just make up all kinds of crazy words.
All right, and then we'll use a little bit of the darker color here around his feet, just kind of tie in that, sort of just scrubbing it back and forth a little bit so that he doesn't look like he's floating. Grab a little bit of a lighter color, add it as well. I'm just kind of holding my brush kind of on an angle and just kind of scrubbing side to side a little bit with it. Just create a soft blending. There we go. Okay. Okay, you can zoom out now. Here we go. Yeah, he's very glowy with that green, that bright white behind him. There. Alright, so now I'm going to switch to my angle brush, or my fan brush. And I'm not going to add water to this. I'm just going to use it dry. And grab my burnt sienna and a little bit of the red. I'll use this in my darkest area here. I might even grab a little bit of the burnt umber. Just like a nice dark red. And I'm going to tap in just along the bottom and low.
We have a super chat.
Thank you.
I missed it.
Uh-oh.
But not too big. Good thing all the people in chat are mooing.
You're like, oh, wait a minute.
I obviously missed something there. Kim said, cannot wait to do this one. It's going to be a late night in Massachusetts. Thank you for another fabulous painting.
Oh, you're welcome, Kim. I'm glad you're going to try it. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, I'm just realizing I didn't do my highlight on this side of this tree, so I'm going to do that real quick before I put in my... There we go. Before I put my green, or my red on top. That's better. Okay, so I'm just using this darker red. I'm going to tap kind of low. I tapped a little bit back in here. And really just barely touching down the tip of the brush. I'm using, fairly thick with paint. But if it's sticking together too much, you can kind of tap it down on the palette to try to separate those bristles out a little bit. So it helps if they're a little bit separated to get the right effect. And I'm going to just kind of tap in just a little bit on our path there. A little bit down low here. Barely touching down. And a little bit here. Now, as I go up, I'm going to tap down a little harder. Okay. Tap down a little bit harder, get a little bit, but I'm keeping it kind of horizontal. This, kind of doing these kind of lacy trees that have sort of lost some of their leaves already. We'll add a little bit of it here and there up here, and then I'm gonna grab some of the darker, brighter red. Dip right into that bright red and a little tiny bit of the light cadmium red too. I've kind of got all those colors on there. And now I'm going to kind of focus right here. So I want this area right here to have a nice big area that's kind of pointing almost to our deer. So I'm going to kind of start there and do a little section right there and bring it all the way back into this tree. And then I'm going to highlight on top of some of these that I've already put in with the darker color. There. Some of them I can kind of change the direction slightly, so some of them might be tilted this way a little bit. Grab some of that darker color and add some of that dark here. You can use just the kind of the corner of the brush to get a different look. If you wanted to, you could use your Deerfoot Stippler too. I really like the fan brush for this though. I kind of I like that lacy look to it. So, and I can kind of get some solid areas or a little bit thicker areas just by kind of pulling up on the brush as I set it down. So I can get kind of some little bit different looking leaves. Going all the way up to the top there with it. And then we'll do some on this side. Wow.
Another super chat.
Awesome.
This time from Clarine. It says, Mama C loves green deer.
Oh. Me too. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your donations, everybody. Really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Mama C loves green deer. Okay, this one I'm just kind of trying to do it a little bit different. So this time I'm going to kind of bring it in here. I'm going to leave some of these bare up here just so that they're a little bit different. And I'm going to grab more of the dark color, burnt sienna up here at the top. Add some of that color. And bring it in toward the middle a little bit and use the little bit. Very, very light touch now. So I want this to look a little bit farther away. So, and just going to barely touch down to get some of this color off on this section. There we go. See how we've kind of created layers? So we've got one section coming in here real wide, and then we've gone up a layer and gone back in here, back in over here. We've got it coming in over here. We're kind of creating these layers, stair-stepped layers that kind of give it more visual interest. Really cool. Love this. I love this color combination. This just makes me happy. Love it. Okay, and we'll add a little bit down here. We're just about done. You know, at this point, you can kind of say, okay, I want a little bit more orange maybe. So I'm going to grab some of my cadmium red light, add a little bit of orangey highlights in a couple of places. Really make it pop. And then if you're worried about, you know, not having branches meeting up to your leaves, you could add a few little branches in here at this point if you wanted to. So I'm going to grab that brown in my thin brush and maybe just do a couple little small, it's not wanting to come off. Make sure that you're adding water to your paint when you do lines. If you don't have it watery enough, it won't flow off your brush. So there we go. Just a few little random branches kind of help tell the story. Give those, your eye will really fill in the details, so you don't really have to go in and put in every single branch. Just a few will kind of help though. And if you know, don't cover up too much of your red, I just kind of go right up to the bottom of it and add some branches. So support those little sections there.
So there's some people in chat who feel a little intimidated by the deer.
Okay.
So we'll have a traceable.
Yes, we will.
But also, if they don't want to put the deer in, they can just leave it.
Absolutely.
As a clear path, because it's still stunning that way.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I really think that it's beautiful without, you know, even without the deer. You know, just like that, And if I was to do it that way, I would probably put more of these little smaller trees in the background here. Just kind of fill in that space with some of these far trees. And maybe bring in these trees in just a little bit. But yeah, that's, that's an easy way of, making it much simpler. But you can see that the trees themselves and these red branches were super easy. And if you don't have a fan brush, you could totally do it with, like a stippler, or even how I did it with, with this area back here. I can get kind of a similar look just by tapping in with a flat brush. And I can just sort of smush it down so that those bristles flare out a little bit, and then just tap in with that. And I can get a very similar look. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy a fan brush if you don't have one. You don't have to have one to do this project. You can totally get by without it. Just use your flat brush instead. All right, I think we're done. Let me sign it.
Yeah, somebody in chat wants to know, what color frame would you suggest for a painting like this?
I think either like a deep brown or a black would be pretty. Something like that. I'm signing it where you can see it, so right down in the middle. I probably put it too low, though. I know I did, because that's not a 1/4 inch. Give yourself a finger space. I probably should have put it up a little higher.
Man.
I don't think I can get it off there. But
and why do you do that? Why do you leave the space?
Because the frame will cover that up.
If you use a frame. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, let me see.
Man, you saved it.
I did. You can still see it a little bit, but I got most of it off. Okay, I'll try that again.
And chat is blowing up. They're chanting,
Stickman. Oh, Stickman. Okay.
Stickman. Can you hear it echoing through the forest?
Okay, that's better. Stickman. So what does he get? He's gonna have some antlers, I think. He needs some deer antlers.
Some green antlers.
Yes. Yeah, they have to be green, don't they?
Can be another freaky Stickman.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. He's got he's got a paisley hat, so you can't get much more freaky than that.
That's true.
Go right over the top of our eclipse there.
Well, this was definitely a fun one.
Good. I hope you guys liked it. I really enjoyed bringing it to you.
Especially the end here. It just kind of ties it all together.
Stickman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for those who are new to the channel, Stickman's a mascot.
Yes.
My creation.
He gets something added to him every show, depending on whatever it is we're painting that day. So there we go. Actually looks better with the antlers now that the paisley doesn't look so weird on his head.
Okay.
Yeah. If you say so. Is it? Okay. I'm going to call it good. All right. Here's our finished painting. Thanks, guys, so much for stopping by and watching tonight. We so appreciate you. Thanks to all that donate on Super Chat. And if you want the traceable to this, I will have that available on my Patreon site. They're $1 a month for all of the traceables that I do, all old ones and new ones. So $1 gives you access to all of those. And anyhow, I guess that's all, right? All the links are down in the description to that. It's Angela Fine Art on Patreon, if you're looking for it. So, all right, we will see you on Saturday for another video. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.